Euro 2020 finally kicking off. Let's get some folks paid alongside Chris the Bear Felica. Taylor Twellman joining us remotely. I'm Dallin Cuff. Before we get to the picks, fellas, Taylor, I want to start with this. Is there a general approach you think folks should have to betting this tournament, the Euros?
Yeah, pretty much close your eyes and just throw a dart at the board, and whichever one it hits, it hits. Listen, Bear, you know this as well as anyone because you and I have had numerous amount of conversations since they went from 16 to 24 teams. Now it's kind of open Pandora's box. You're going to have a team or two that's going to make a run that you do not expect. We saw Wales. We saw Iceland in 2016 do that. This one, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult to predict because you've got travel within the tournament, but more so, you're coming off a pandemic season where they've played over 60 some odd games in 16 months. I think players are going to be tired. Injuries are going to be part of it. I think it's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Yeah, I agree. I think the injuries and the health is going to be a big deal. And Taylor touched on the overall general tournament. I think on an individual match basis, one thing that I'd like to do, especially in the group stages, teams are going to be scared to fall behind. Teams are going to be scared to make that mistake to avoid dropping, not getting at least a point out of those matches. I expect to see a lot of unders. So under 2.5, under 3 might be a common theme that you see us putting out there on Daily Wager.
There you go. There are 4 third-place teams that are moving forward. All right, let's pick some winners here. And, folks, when you're picking winners, let me start with a disclaimer. Look at the bracket. It's already out there, so you can see the path, and you can understand where your teams may be based on where you think they'll finish in the groups. Here is the betting odds from Caesars William Hill. France is the betting favorite, followed by England, Belgium, the golden generation. Spain's got COVID issues. Germany coming off a 2018 World Cup, and Portugal is your defending champs at plus 800. TT, I'll start with you. I hear you like the chalk, my friend.
Yeah, I'm staying at the top. I'm not getting too cute with this, especially when you're trying to bet winners of the tournament. And I would have had France even before Benzema came into this. Now, obviously, the last game against Bulgaria before the tournament starts, it's going to be interesting to see what that thigh injury turns out to be. But you're adding Benzema, arguably in the conversation for the top 4 best number 9s in the world, to a team that I already had with Olivier Giroud in as the favorite. Now you add that, there's more fluidity, there's more options. Don't get cute. When you look at the rest of the list of the favorites, there's way more question marks with every other team other than France. I'm staying with the favorite.
Yeah, France defending World Cup champs. They were in the final in 16 as well in Euros. What do you got, Bear?
And I think one team you're not really getting cute with, but coming off of the debacle that was the 2018 World Cup, are the Germans. I think they're being a little overlooked here because they are in the group with the last 2 major tournament winners in Portugal and France. I think that maybe 3 years ago, I should say, they were kind of in a transitional stage. They didn't want to let go of the old guard, but they really needed to move forward to the new guard. I think they've done that now. I think they have a plethora of scorers. They still have one of the best goalkeepers in the world, Manny Neuer. They're in a group where even if you finish second, you're going to be drawn in the round of 16 most likely against England. I don't think Germany would be too scared to play England in the round of 16.
Yeah, what's the Germans and English kicked the ball around for 90 minutes. In the end, the Germans win. I believe that was Gary Lineker. I like the Belgians. I'm betting on their golden generation plus 600. Despite the fact that Kevin De Bruyne he's got that injury issue coming up the Champions League. I think this team has the potential. They've got a great goaltender. And I think they're going to finally realize their potential here. So I like the Belgians at plus 600. TT, you mentioned the sleepers before, so let's get to that. Who do you think could make a deep run here that definitely provides some value?
It's interesting. I actually think the 2 teams that you picked to win are going to play each other in the round of 16 because I think Germany finishes 3rd and they play the Belgians that win that group. To go look at this underdog type of run, and I think you guys are going to look at Turkey, and I get that. I understand that because there's a high ceiling. But you also want to pick a team that's consistent, a team that understands each other, that's under the radar, and that's Austria. When you look at 21 of their players play in the Bundesliga, which is a top 3 league in the world, they have a great understanding of who they are, what kind of players they are, even if they're opponents within the league. They have a real good understanding coming together very quickly of how they need to play. Now, they're not going to score a ton of goals, but defensively, they're one of the best center back tandems in this tournament. They're coming out of a fairly easy group. And when you look at the odds, I look at the Austrians because I look at the way they could put together. We saw Portugal in 2016. They didn't win a game until the quarterfinals. Austria could tie all 3 games, get through, and then all of a sudden get into that penalty kick type of situation. I actually like the Austrians a lot.
Fair?
Taylor crushed me already before I even got to open up my mouth. So good seeing you again, Taylor. But it is Turkey for me to get to get to the round of 16, to get to the quarterfinals. Like if you finish second in that group, you're going to be drawn in the round of 16 against Denmark. And Taylor hit it though. Turkey is the ultimate high ceiling, bottomless floor type team. I think they're going to be one of the more entertaining teams in the entire tournament, with the pair that won League One in France this year. I think they're going to score a lot of goals. I think they very easily could find themselves in the quarterfinals.
We're on the opposite sides here. I like Denmark.
So we're isolating that bracket.
So basically, I think Denmark's going to win. They might beat Austria. They might beat Turkey and move forward into the quarterfinals. I actually have them going to the semis. I have them making one of those deep runs like Wales or Iceland did. And they're plus 800 for that, because I think Netherlands is going to win Group C. And I'm out on the Netherlands a lot. I think they can win against a third-place team in the round of 16. That sets up a quarterfinal matchup. I like the Danes moving forward as my big-time deep sleeper run, and plus 800. I like that right there. All right, let's go to – this is a kind of a negative pick, but, again, there's a ton of different ways you can bet here right now. When you think about a low-scoring team, I think Hungary playing in that Group F with Portugal and France and Germany is not going to be able to score at all. They're plus 450. I have them as the lowest-scoring team. Taylor, do you have somebody else you think is not going to put up any goals but could pay us out?
Hungary's going to score on a set piece or two. They're going to give Germany nightmares and fits on set pieces, and I think Hungary is that. And plus, they're the favorites in this category, Dallin. So I understand why you would go there. Naturally, everyone looks at it and says France, Portugal, Germany. They're not going to score any goals, when the reality is whoever they play, they're going to have to score goals, so the game may be a little opened up to give away a goal. I'm telling you right now, this is the kind of category you throw money and go with the high odds. Take the Russians. Everyone's looking at this and saying, listen, the Russian team from the 2018 World Cup, this team's going to be flying. Then, this is a team that has struggled since the World Cup. They're relying on two players over the age of 36. Their best player, their most attacking player, and quite honestly, doesn't even need to wear soccer shoes because he can't score a goal with his feet. He's only good in the air. I'm looking at the Russians, and that number is a massive number. If I'm not mistaken, it's like plus 2,000, maybe 2,100. That's worth taking the risk. I think the Russians struggle. And I also, Dallin, to go back to something, I actually would take the Netherlands not to win that group. Yeah. If you want a little bit of an odd pick, take Netherlands to finish second in that, because everything Frank de Boer literally dies or goes cold. I would stay away from the Dutch in this one.
No doubt. They are by far the weakest group, too. That would pay out for sure if they don't make it. Bear, what do you like?
They are. I would say Scotland. I think they're about plus 800. When your two best players are two of your backs, and you don't have a whole run down that roster list. There are not a whole lot of international goals. The group that they're in, Croatia. I don't know. I take a shot with Scotland there.
All right, a couple picks for you folks. Enjoy it. Euro 2020 kicking off on Friday. We'll be trying to get you paid all tournament. Thanks, TT. Thank you, Bear.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.